Yeah.
We're here at the Midlands Shooting Centre of Ireland, one of the best shooting facilities in the country. It's second to none. And I'm here today to test two rifles from two completely different eras. And they're manufactured by Rigby. Now, as you know, Rigby now is owned by the Blaser company and has been brought in under Blaser's wing. But we actually, today, we're lucky enough to have a classic Rigby rifle in 7x57. This is an original Rigby from 1919. So, and the gun that we have here is a gun from a completely different era, 2019. But they both bear the quality symbol of John Rigby. And just giving you a brief history on Rigby rifles. John Rigby, of course, as we all know, was Irish. He moved then to London. He developed, in conjunction with Mauser, the 275Rigby round. The 275Rigby round is actually a 7x57 Mauser, and that is usually with a 140 grain bullet. That's the most useful bullet to us as deer stalkers, is the 140 grain bullet. These rifles we're going to check today and see how they're shooting, and I'm just going to give a report and feedback on them. As I say, they're 100 years apart, but both rifles, this rifle is in supreme condition. It was actually rebarreled by Rigby in Pall Mall, London in 1972, and so the bore has been checked since, and the bore is in pristine condition. It has a few owners, and it has quite a record and tally up against big game, both in Ireland, England, Scotland, and on the continent, and even as far as Africa. This has taken a lot of animals and has been very successful for the few owners it had. And the other rifle was purchased by a client in 2019. It's the Rigby Highlander, and a very prestigious, really well put together rifle. It comes in this is a case it comes in. It really sets the whole thing off. The wood is absolutely fabulous. Of course, there's a Zeiss scope mounted on both. Of course, we have the classic 6x42 Zeiss that's on the original Rigby, and then we have another classic, but it's the 2.5 to 10 by 50 Zeiss on the Rigby Highlander. And as I say, at Rigby, similar rifles were used by some famous people throughout the years. Jim Corbett, everyone has heard of Jim Corbett. He's one of the world's most famous hunters, and he killed the man-eating tigers in India. This is a very similar rifle to that rifle. It's very similar in its design and format. The other person who made it famous would have been Kilimanjaro Bell. He took on elephants, from jackals to elephants, with the 7x57 round. Of course, he would have been using full metal jackets and to take such large game. But us for hunting, a soft nose 140 grain projectile would have been the ideal round to use for deer and deer size species. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test both these rifles out and see how they go at 100 meters. And I'm going to do it off the new product from Blaser, the Blaser shooting sticks. So we're going to set up for that now, and I'm really looking forward to testing out both these rifles, the classic as opposed to the modern, and I'm sure both will shoot well, and we'll soon see. Now we're going to proceed now, and I'm going to use the Blaser shooting sticks, another new product from Blaser, and we're going to go ahead and first of all we're going to give the 2019 gun a run at a target at 100 meters, and we'll see how that performs. And after that we'll take out the other gun, the older gun, and we'll see how that performs at the 100 meters. So we'll start off with the modern gun, and we'll see how it goes. What a smooth cycling gun, and you see recoil from it is quite moderate, and that's the 7x57 or the 275 Rigby cartridge, and cycled perfectly, flawless, absolutely flawless. And I can see with this scope, I think my group is quite impressive. So now next up, is the classic Rigby from 1919. 100-year age gap between both rifles, but we tested both rifles on the bags earlier and they shot excellent. This one shot, considering its age, it shot really well, and using the original 275 Rigby cartridges as recommended by Rigby, they're performing flawlessly. So I have 3 cartridges in the drop plate, and we'll see how it goes. I cannot praise the Blaser sticks. They are really a great platform to shoot off of. A little more recoil from this gun, as you see there, mainly because the stock was originally designed for open sights, but what a pleasant gun. Recoil a little bit more, but cycles perfectly and shoots absolutely perfectly. I just going by the scope, it's not as tight a group, but we'll go up and examine the groups from both rifles now, and we see how we went. Okay, so next up is to check the groups. Now we're down checking both rifles. Here we have a Rigby 275 2019 gun. There's no arguing with that. There is absolutely no arguing with that. That is perfect, and for shooting off the sticks, I'm well pleased with that, and so I'm well pleased with that. Then we'll come over to the 1919 rifle, the older gun. Now you must remember, what they call it is an older gun, and the stock for me is a little short and that, but every one of them will put venison in the freezer. That's about a 2-inch group. Again, it's off the sticks. We zeroed the guns earlier off the bench and it performed a lot better, but this was just kind of rapid fire off the sticks. So I'm pleased with my shooting, and I'm certainly pleased with both guns' performance here at the Midlands range today. And as I ever mentioned, the Blaser sticks are second to none. They're one of the most steadiest platforms to shoot off in field conditions, so I highly recommend them. So we have our Rigby from 1919 and our Rigby from 2019. 100-year gap between both rifles in age, but less than an inch gap in the grouping off the sticks. So we can't fault these guns, and fair play, quality guns, even at 100 years old, it's still performing 100 years on. That's Rigby rifles. Part on the old one.
Yeah.